Да, мы включились. Здравствуйте. Так та же самая ссылка. Окей, да. Да, спасибо. Hello, good morning.
Yeah, morning.
Hello. Shall we wait for, there are only 4 of us, for other people to join? Let's wait for a few minutes.
Yes, I think we should firstly wait our students, and I have written them a letter.
Okay, let's wait.
Hi, good morning, everybody.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Leo. How are you?
Great.
Great, thank you.
Hello, Alex. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning. How are you?
I am
Oh,
fine. By the way, how do we wish good morning in Russian language?
Доброе утро.
Oh, dobre utra.
Доброе is good, morning is utro.
Okay, dobroye utro.
Right. Great.
Okay,
Yes,
thank
indeed.
you.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you. By the way, I want to discuss something with Leo sir. Actually, we had some conversation. I had some conversation with my Indian students,
Yeah.
and like being basically a core science people. Many of my students, they are also work in a core robotics area and machine learning and all these things. We have some very basic idea about this is financial tradings and all.
Mhm.
So actually we need to have some base before we understand all those some kind of the terminologies. So I think I hope you will help us to do and to match our frequency with that.
Yes. So that's actually the objective of our introductory sessions yesterday
Right.
and today, really to get everyone just on the same ground and get
Right.
understanding of the basic concepts, technologies, our objectives, and so on. There is also a book published on which I sent to our Telegram channel, which
Yes,
would
I've seen that.
help with that. I will also try to find maybe other sources, other references which we can
Right.
use. But interestingly enough, with algorithmic trading, although the concepts are relatively simple in general, there are not
Right.
so many good published references. So
Right.
these concepts are somehow just known to the industry, but not that much widely published outside of the industry.
Outside.
I will
Okay.
try possibly to forward
Right.
some more
Right.
references, but what also can be done is just I create some kind of set of terminology in
Right.
my discussions here, and the students can do the following on search, maybe using all available internet search engines and so on, maybe referring to Wikipedia and so on to
Right.
clarify some details. But I will try to provide more references. Indeed, getting into algo trading for someone who doesn't learn physics or mathematics is not a dramatic, but still a steep learning curve,
Right.
obviously.
I think the very ground-based explanation, like if you want to explain these things to a layman who don't know
The
anything,
very
it will
ground-based
help
explanation,
us
like
in much better.
if you want to explain these things to a layman who don't know anything, it will help us in
Okay, okay. So,
okay.
um, six of us are in. Shall we wait a bit more, or should we start now? I think we can start now because in any case, I will record it as being recorded, and I will publish it on YouTube as it was. Okay.
Leo, I think this somebody's this thing speaker is doubling the sound.
This thing,
Okay.
speaker is doubling the sound.
Yes.
Okay, let's start, and I think other students will join us a little bit later. Okay, let's start, and I
Let's
think other
start. Okay.
students will
Okay.
join us a little bit later.
Somehow I can hear a strong echo. So may I ask everyone who is not speaking to turn off the microphones, keep it on the mute mode, because in that case,
Right.
yes, the quality of sound will be better. Okay, great, great, great. Thank you. So back to our whiteboard. What we have discussed yesterday is that, yes, indeed, at the exchange, there is a matching engine. So you remember, or actually multiple matching engines. And those match engines look like order books. Order books are primary component of match engine. So for example, this is an order book for BTC USD. There is another matching engine. So, and there are bids and tasks, as we have seen. Asks bids. For another instrument, for example, for Ethereum USD, there will be a separate order book where orders for that instrument are placed. So that would be another order book. And so on. So here are completely different prices because this is a different instrument. Sorry for my drawing, and so on. So again, asks and bids. Apart from the order book, there are other components within the match engine, but primarily it is just the order book. So per match engine, we have just a single order book and a mechanism which tracks, as we have seen, the orders and detects that there is a trade. If, as we know, when someone has posted an order at the right price. So, for example, a buy order arrives once again. So, for example, buy order arrives. From where it arrives? It arrives from the internet. It arrives from a client. So then the matching engine looks at the price of this buy order. So continuing with our previous example, if this highest bid is 13,999 and lowest ask is 14,000, then the matching engine actually checks what is the current price for this buy order. So the buy order, when it arrives, and similar for sell orders, it has a price and quantity. So if the price of this buy order is, let's say, less than the lowest ask, so it is compared with this, it is supposed that less than the lowest ask, then this buy order is simply added to the bid side somewhere. It could be here, it could be here, it could be here, but it is less than the lowest ask. Then it is just placed into the order book. If, however, the price is at least, in this case, 14,000 or possibly more, then it is not placed in the order book. Then there is an immediate trade because it is matched with the corresponding orders on the ask side. Um, it will start matching from the lowest ask. So as in the sequence as I described in the previous session, in that case, it is immediately matched and generates trades. So basically, by price less than minimum ask placed in the order book. Otherwise, if it is at least the current lower ask, generating trades. Similarly, a sell order arrives which is characterized by its own, let's say, sell price and quantity. Here, buy price and quantity. Then sell price. Sell price is compared to the highest bid. If sell price is still greater than now maximum bid, The order is placed in order book. By the way, buy is placed in order book in bids. Sell is placed in the order book asks if the price is high enough. Otherwise, generating trades immediately. So that the mechanics, we just need to be aware of how it works. Now, from our point of view, we don't need to do it by ourselves. We just need to know how it works at the exchange. For us, it is the following. We simply assume that this is the exchange. What we will do in this project, we are not going to place the orders by ourselves, but we will view and observe and process data as other people do it. So what we do, there is an exchange, or ECN, as we were talking last time, and suppose that it is Binance. Say it is Binance. It is a kind of black box for us. Well, we know that there are matching engines, we know that there are buy and sell orders, we know that orders are placed in order books, or they generate immediately generate trades, as we have discussed. But for the moment, let's consider it to be able to be a kind of black box. So what we do here, here we are. Let's call us clients. We are clients to the exchange. So what a client does? A client simply connects to the exchange over the internet, and we start receiving market data from the exchange. So connection to market data. By the way, MKT is market. You remember our glossary of short term, CCY, PX, and so on. So market data is MKT is short for market. We connect, so the exchange is here. We connect to a market data source, let's say, and the exchange starts sending order book updates back to us. Then the exchange. That's precisely the information which we need to receive. So we implement our client here, and yes, we are going to use Python to that end. So we implement our client here, written in Python, which will do the following. The client connects to the exchange. What does it mean, connects? The exchange uses typically protocols similar to those which are used by traditional web servers. It's not always the case. It depends on the exchange. But for crypto ECNs, the protocols used are typically HTTP and WebSocket. That's very important. So in order to receive market data from the exchange, what does it mean, receive market data from the exchange? Receive updates to order books. Then we need to understand how HTTP and WebSocket protocols work. This will be our first design exercise. Well, we came here, so we know that we are going to implement web solutions. HTTP and WebSocket are standard protocols used by World Wide Web communications between a client. In our case, the client is a Python program, and the server, which is, let's say, Binance or any other of our crypto ECNs. So inside here, there is a matching engine for example, BTC USD, matching engine for Ethereum USD. We're interested in these two. And when we connect to the exchange, we ask the exchange to provide all order book updates to us over typically the WebSocket protocol. So what does it mean? It means that when we connect to a certain IP and to a certain URL, which is actually IP address and port, then in response, we specify, typically we specify, send a message, specify which instruments we would like to subscribe to. It could be, in our case, we're going to use only two instruments. So for example, it is BTC USD, and sometimes there is a so-called crypto dollar, crypto equivalent of USD. Let's say it would be, for the purpose of our project here, deemed to be equivalent. So it would be called BTC USDT. USD is just US dollar. USDT is so-called Tether, which is a crypto dollar. But let's say for our purpose, they could be used interchangeably. And Ethereum USD, Ethereum USDT. So when we connect, we specify the list of instruments we are interested in. And then upon connection, so our it can be viewed as this diagram. So that's our client, Python, that's exchange. So what happens first? The client connects. Then upon connection, the client specifies the list of instruments we're interested in. Then in response to specifying the list of instruments, the exchange sends to us a so-called snapshot for each instrument. Order book snapshot. Order book snapshot for each instrument. What is a snapshot? The snapshot is precisely the image of an order book as it stood right at the moment when we requested the list. So as you remember, how can this order book be represented? In the simplest case, the order book, you remember, there are two sides, asks and bids. Each side, in the simplest case, well, in the simplest case, each side is just a collection of prices and quantities. So basically, it is a list of prices and quantities for ask side and for the bid side. So for example, there would be a value of 14,000 and the quantity. For example, there would be all right, a list of prices and quantities, 14,000 and the quantity of, let's say, the number of Bitcoins or Ethereums at this price, at this price, at this price, and so on. And similarly for bits. You will see it when you first connect. So I suggest we start implementing those clients, and the first thing we do, we receive this snapshot and we look at it and we try to understand what we have actually received. So basically it would be something like this. Are you familiar with some kind of standards used for data transmission over WebSockets? Typically, this information is sent in so-called JSON format. So I would like to check, anyone had seen this JSON format before? If not, then don't worry. It is just,
Yes.
you have
Not,
this.
then don't worry.
But
Yes, I
if
have
not,
seen.
if not,
Yes,
don't
I have
worry.
seen.
It is a textual format. It is just text,
If not, don't
which
worry.
we need to
It is
parse
a textual
in order
format, it is
to
just
get
text,
those asks
which
and
we need to
bids
parse
and
in order to
lists of
get
prices
those
and
asks
quantities.
and bids and lists of prices and quantities.
So that's quite okay. So
So that's quite
and
okay.
then after this initial snapshot is received for each instrument, then the order book starts sending to us updates. It's not full order book images anymore, it's updates. It would be a shorter format, so it is JSON as well, in JSON format. If at a certain price level, for example, the quantity is completely unchanged, then it is not included into the update. But if at some price the quantity changes, or for example, there is a trade such that, as we have seen in an example yesterday, that for example, maybe this one, this price level is completely eliminated, and now the minimum price, so if this would be 14,000, then the minimum ask becomes 14,001, then the corresponding update is sent. So the updates could be, you really need to look at the format, how it is specified, but typically the updates would be add. So a new quantity is added at the corresponding price level. Delete, the corresponding quantity is deleted at a price level. Maybe sometimes something else, but really have a look at the exact format here. So basically what we need to do first, we in the first part of the project, we start with Binance. So yes, it's a very good starting point. So it is Binance first. We go to the Binance website. We study the protocol for market data, for receiving the market data, this kind of protocol. So it is described for each exchange. Actually, it is just public information. Protocol. We learn and understand it. Number 3, we start implementing the Python client. Which receive this market data. To receive market data from, for the moment, from Binance. When all this data arrives, we will need to, first of all, we need to get it working that the data arrives in the first place. When the data arrives, what we need to do, this in particular means parse JSON, so parse the JSON format which we are receiving, and in our client, we must build our own image of how the order book looks like. Build our image of the order books. For BTC USD, possibly USDT, and Ethereum USD or USDT. So we need to decide in that case, it will be at a slightly later point. The first thing for us is just to get connectivity to Binance Exchange. Just get connectivity. Then parse arriving JSON messages. Then build our image of the order book. And in Python, our order book would probably be a map, a dictionary. So it would be a map. Well, an order book is probably two maps. That's what our programming decision needs to be made about. So what is our order book image? It is probably, we construct two maps. So bits is probably a map from price as a floating point number to, let's say, quantity, and asks is also a map. This is one possible solution. Not the only one, but a good one. From prices to quantities. Later on, it could be something else. In addition to quantity, we may store some further attributes, but for the moment, it is just a very simple map from prices to quantities. That's what we need to do. This will be represented using our Python data, Python data structures. So when an order book update arrives, so when this snapshot is received, we build the initial maps. When an order book update arrives, we parse the corresponding message, decide what needs to be changed. So for example, a new entry added to the map, an entry modified for an existing price, modified in the map, or a certain entry deleted from the map. And that way, at each particular time, on our site, within our Python client, we will have a valid representation of the order book. The actual order book is located basically in the exchange, in the matching engine of the exchange, but we, on our client side, we built our representation, our image, our view, let's say view of the order books for these two instruments. And then at step number 4, we repeat this for other crypto ECNs each one has a slightly different protocol, or maybe some of them even significantly different protocol. So I made a list yesterday of 10 ECNs. We may not have time to implement connectors to all of them, but let's do a number of them. We'll make decisions which exactly. Decide later which exactly. Which ones exactly. So it could be, for example, after Binance, it could be BitMEX, OKEX, Huobi. For example, maybe if time allows, then some others. So then we get multiple connectors to multiple exchanges, all of them within our Python client. And eventually, what we will do, we will need to aggregate the data coming from multiple exchanges. So now our final architecture would be the following. So, for example, here, Binance, BitMEX, and so on. So we have, for example, and this is our client. Our client would have order book image, BTC, for example, USD, being received from Binance, BTC USD received from BitMEX, received from others, and all this information, originally we would have different images for Binance, BitMEX, and so on, but at the last step, this all information will be aggregated into single order books. How this aggregation is to be achieved, we'll probably discuss later, because if I start discussing this now, then it would look exceedingly too complex. This step number 4, how to aggregate the data, I think it would be meaningful to discuss this only after we achieve individual steps 1, 2, and 3. At that point, we'll see how this data can be put into a single data aggregator, and how this data could be used here. And similarly, for example, for Ethereum USD, now aggregated. Again, information coming from multiple exchanges, aggregated on our client side. So we connect over the internet. These are exchanges. A technical point, a very important technical point, is the following. Our Python clients to be developed, where are they going to run? There are two options. So these clients, they can run on your local computers, or they can also run on a collaborative server, which we set up for the purposes of our project. So I would like to discuss with our colleagues, in particular with our Indian tutors, which option do you think is better? I would prefer to set up a collaborative server on which all our Python software will run, and to host this server over Amazon Cloud Network. So basically, set up a server in Amazon and do development on that server. So basically, it is a client. In that case, our software will run on that server, and it is still a client with respect to financial exchanges. But for us, it runs on a dedicated server, which we rent from Amazon for that purpose. A very small server can even be free, or we can possibly get a paid one for a very small price. But it is possible to set up a free one. Why it is better? Because in order to get all this functionality working, we need a 24/7 connection to the financial exchanges. So we really need continuous uninterrupted flow of data. Obviously, it is interrupted when we stop our client, modify it, uh, fix our bugs, start again. But conceptually, it is a continuous uninterrupted flow of data from financial exchanges into our client software. So for that reason, uh, it shouldn't run on a notebook, because a notebook, it is on off. It would have transient connections to the internet, sometimes working, sometimes not working. So I propose that we set up a server in Amazon, and we use that environment to develop our project collaboratively, and our Python will be placed there in Amazon network. How do you feel about that? That's the point I would like to discuss with everyone now.
Hi, this is
That's
Rakesh
the
here.
point I would like to discuss with everyone.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea to have a server because yes, I also see the need here.
Okay, okay.
Yes.
So who would be in charge of setting
Okay,
up that
okay.
server?
Yes.
Would you
So
like
who
me to
would
do
be
that, or you would do it by yourself?
by yourself?
Uh, it's better if there is any option from your end to set up the server.
I might be able to do this, or you can do it, for
I
example,
might be able to
from
do
your
this,
side.
or you can do it, for example, from your side.
Mm, I think I have to check for the resources from AIM team for this. But in case if resources are ready from your end, then you can go ahead
Okay,
with this and let us know the details.
okay. So let's do the following. Could you please check
Okay.
if it is feasible and you could do it
Okay.
on your
So
side?
let's do the following. Could
Then
you please check
you
if
would
it
do
is
it.
feasible and you
If
can
not,
do it on
then
your
I
side?
will try to do it
Then
for you,
you will do it.
and
If
will host
not,
all our
then I
results
will try to
on
do it
that
for you.
Amazon server.
And
Okay?
will post all our results on
This
that
Amazon
Amazon server.
server
Okay?
will, of course, run Linux,
This Amazon server
not Windows.
will, of course, run Linux,
Okay.
not Windows.
This Linux operating system will contain all
This
necessary
Linux
development
operating
tools
system will
for our
contain all
purpose.
necessary development tools for our purpose.
You will have the whole team will have the same shared account on the server. You will receive credentials after we set it up. You log into the server and you do your development on that server. On top of that, so that the server, our code base will be maintained in Git. Code base Git. Okay, I believe that everyone had probably heard about Git or may have had some experience in how to use it. Could you please tell me?
Yeah, I
Yes, I
heard
do have
about the
acquaintance
Git
with
and I
Git,
already
uh,
used Git
but
and I heard about the Git and I already
Okay.
used
If
Git.
not, then we'll need to
Okay.
do a
If not,
quick learning of how to use Git. because otherwise working in a collaborative environment would quickly become a nightmare, would get totally swamped, confused by our versions and compatible versions and so on. So Git for collaborative development. And for communications between the developers, we can use our Telegram channel, but on the other hand, the Telegram channel is more for announcements and things like, for example, URLs for our meetings, things like that. For really interaction between the developers and collaboration, I think Telegram is less convenient, and typically developers use Slack in that case. So Slack for communication between developers, for technical communication. That's really up to you. Let's see, I would still propose to use Telegram for announcements and our organizational questions, and use Slack for technical communication. You may or may not have been using Slack in the past. If anyone familiar with Slack?
Yes, I have
Just
used
an echo
Slack
once
with
again.
our team.
Okay.
I just know it is
Yes, I
cracked.
have used Slack with our team.
Great.
Okay.
So that's fine. So this is our tool set. A Linux in AWS. We connect to exchanges using Python. All necessary Python components, Python libraries are to be installed on this AWS. We use Git for collaborative development. Actually, our Git server, it may be in GitHub or Bitbucket or somewhere, or it may be hosted on the same actual Linux machine, which is still okay. We may not even need GitLab to that end. I will see whether we need GitLab or not. Probably yes. I think it would be a good idea anyway. So for those, if someone is not familiar with Git as yet, you need to. So either you search for yourself, or I will provide some references about using Git. We'll set up a Slack channel, and before all, we'll need to make a decision on about our Linux server in AWS. So please, our Indian mentors, please have a look if you can do it from your side to set up a Linux server. Preferably, I do like Fedora Linux distribution, but it is not compulsory. It could be Fedora, it could be, if you like, Ubuntu, it could be anything else, but Fedora or CentOS is probably a very good idea. Fedora is high quality, very modern Linux distribution. But anyway, we'll decide today. Please, first of all, send information on Telegram whether you have this hosting, this resource at all. So whether you can get a virtual machine from AWS. If yes, then we'll collectively set it up. So please provide me with this information. yes or no, whether you can set up AWS, an AWS server. If yet, then we'll do it. If not, then I will endeavor to do it for you. Okay. So that's about our stuff.
So that's a
And one more thing. So I stop this screen share now, but I show you probably something else. So if we go to Binance, we go to the Binance website. Okay. Okay. Just a second. I can't see my browser in the list of, just a second, in the screen share list. Where is that? 1 second, please. Something is a bit strange. Ah, here we are. Okay. Can you see the Binance site in my browser?
Yeah, this is
Binance.com.
okay.
Yes.
Okay. Now, in order to
Yeah, this is okay.
Okay. In order to understand how the protocol works, so we go to the information is here. So okay, markets. Just a second, or not here. Trade, no. Where is the API? So we need to find out. The API information. Exchange, cloud. Okay, that's the exchange itself. So by the way, on the left, it is the order book. The red part is asks, and the green part is bids. By the way, while we were talking, the price raised from 14,000 to 15,000. Okay, so I'm trying to find out where is the API documentation, which we'll need to use in order to get this WebSocket connectivity to Binance. Markets, it is somewhere here. Ah, okay. About us, service fees, trading rules, API documentation. Here we are. You see, support API documentation. Please take a note of our URL. So it is here in the bottom of the main page, support API documentation. What we need here, we are not at the moment going to trade by ourselves, so to place orders. What we need to do is simply to receive market data. So look here, market data endpoints in API documentation, market data endpoints. And here you get, first of all, information about how to make requests for market data. So you will need to, it is a part of our task, to read carefully through documentation available here. So for example, test connectivity, it is just a ping, get the server time, get exchange information. Here we are, order book, and then that's HTTP or REST API. And then the second point, you see WebSocket market streams. That's precisely what we need. We connect to those host and port and start receiving market data. You see, we first send the request to subscribe, which means we request a corresponding instrument. If we want, we do unsubscribe or possibly drop our connection, and then we start receiving our data. This will be our first steps through the project. So basically, the steps are the following. Set up our Linux server, get familiar with Git, setup Slack, and so on, so set up our working environment, and start developing a Python client which connects to Binance using the documentation available here and receiving order book information or market streams via WebSocket. So that's our big picture initially for the first steps. Okay, so I will be helping you in progressing through all steps in this project. Okay, so for the moment I think we are done, and so what is the next event? What is going to happen in 1 hour or so? We'll have the first technical discussion
1
meeting,
hour or
right?
so, we'll have the first technical discussion meeting, right?
Yes, Leo, I think we have design session at 11:30 in next half an hour.
Okay, are you going to use, how are you going to do it? Over Zoom as well?
Okay, are you going to use, how are you going to do it? Over Zoom as well?
Sorry, I did not get you. Can you please repeat that once again?
Are you meeting using Zoom again?
Are you meeting using Zoom again?
No, this is like kind of official session from the AIM team, I think.
Okay,
They
that
already
is okay.
posted.
Okay, okay, fine.
Yeah.
So,
Okay, that is okay.
I think it's.
So they already posted Cisco
So,
WebEx links in.
I think it's.
Great. So that's all for now. Our next step
Great.
is
So
to set up
that's all for
our
now.
Linux environment
Our
in
next step
AWS.
is
That's
to set
our
up
next step.
our Linux environment in AWS. That's our next step. Okay.
Yes, in that case, I'll check with Ronak and also my CGI team, and I'll get back to you on this maybe
Yes,
in
please.
next 1 hour.
Yes, please. Wonderful. Okay, so we're done. I think
Yes,
we're
please.
exactly on
Dear,
time.
Yes, please. Wonderful.
Thank
dear
you
colleagues,
for
can I
attending.
So we are
ask?
done.
Yes,
I
yes,
think
please.
we're exactly on time.
Can I ask
Dear
one of
colleagues,
the
can I
mentors
ask? Yes, yes, please.
to make
Can I
something
ask
like a
one of the
follow-up
mentors?
meeting in written form in our Telegram chat? Leonid, I am talking about the next 3 steps that you have talking about.
Will the next 3 steps. Okay. Yes, of course. Yes, I will put this plan into our Telegram chat. Yes, absolutely.
Okay, thank you then.
Thanks. Thanks to everyone for the attention.
Thank you, Leo. Thank you, Leo.
We start from this point on. Great. Great.
Yes, yes. Thank you, Leo. Thank you, Leo. Thank you.
Thank you.
Great.
Bye.
Thank you,
Thank
Leo, for the
Thank you.
learning session, and thanks everyone.
Okay, yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So see you everybody in the next session then, 11:55.
Okay, yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Okay,
So
bye.
see
Good day.
everybody in the next session then, 11:55.